Back in 2006, some of the first YouTube videos that I ever saw were that of Dead Rising gameplay videos and Sonic Rush gameplay videos. But Dead Rising specifically was one of those games in that era that just really caught my attention. That along with BioShock. Dead Rising was my obsession, and I didn't even have an Xbox 360. It just looked like so much fun. Stacking barricades, getting the hidden katana, slicing zombies in half. Eventually I got an Xbox 360 and I finally got Dead Rising, and to my surprise, I fucking hated it. Don't blame me, I was like 15 and I had like no patience for this game. And I still kinda don't, weirdly. Dead Rising is one of those games that I really wish I loved more than I do, but I just don't. I've gone back to play it every once in a while, and it's still fun. It's still a really unique and well-made game, but there's just things here and there that just really irk me. Like, some of these missions do not need to be this fucking infuriating for no reason. I feel like I'm one of the rare people that actually like Dead Rising 2 a bit more, but that's just me. I will say this game does really have a cool vibe to it. It reminds me of some of the wackier Resident Evil games that has really strange voice acting and incredibly weird looking characters. That being said, I was super excited for this new Dead Rising remake because it looked like they were going to fix a lot of the problems that I had. The two biggest issues that I had with the first game is waiting for the missions to start and the stupid ass saving system. So if you don't know, every time you die in this game, you get sent back to your last save. There are no checkpoints, which in some ways I kind of like because it makes it a bit more survival horror-y, but this game is kind of more of an action game than it is a survival horror game, so it doesn't really fit. And some of the controls, even for 2006, were really kind of off and strange. So the Capcoms finally came back and released Dead Rising Remake, and to no one's surprise, it's fantastic. I finally love this game. Every single one of my complaints is fixed. You get to fast travel, there are checkpoints, the controls are so much better, and it's just a much better game. This is the definitive version of Dead Rising. I know some people are saying that they don't like it quite as much as the remake, and that's fine, but to say that the original is better is a little weird. I don't know, maybe take off your nostalgia goggles because this game is just way better. I think the only thing that I wasn't a big fan of compared to the original was the voice acting. The voice acting in this one is played a bit more straight, and I don't think it works as much. The original game's voice acting was so deranged and weird and off-putting that it was kind of funny. This game has less of that, and I'm just not a fan. That is the one issue that I have with these Capcom remakes, is that they try and take themselves a little too serious. Also, another thing is that what the fuck did they do to Frank's face? Like, yeah, I get that they wanted to make him weird looking like he was in the original, but Jesus, they didn't have to give him this weird hook nose thing. They just literally made him a goblin in this. But besides that, I really do think that this game is pretty much improved in every way possible. I've never been much for speedrunning, but this game has kind of turned me on to it. Finding the quickest and least dangerous routes possible and trying to save everyone you possibly can is really stressful but fun. That to me is always the biggest strength of this game, is trying to save everyone you possibly can. There's one thing that I will say, the deluxe edition of this version is 100% worth it. Like, the cosmetics are insane. So if you care about that kind of thing, I actually would recommend getting the deluxe edition. And the base game is actually only $50, which I think that's a really, really, really good price for this game. Capcom could have easily gone full price with it, and I don't know if people would have been too upset about it, but I'm really glad that they didn't. So yeah, I would absolutely recommend the shit out of this game. If you've never played it before, I think this is the best way to play it and the best way to get started on it, because it is a really, really, really cool game, and I cannot wait to see what Capcom does next for this franchise. Good shit. Hey, so I know that this was a pretty quick, kind of off-the-cuff video, but I really, really do love Dead Rising, and I love Capcom, and I'll take the time to talk about anything that they do. I know it's been a minute, the video schedule for this channel is a little all over the place, but I promise, the new Dark Souls Aesthetics video is coming out soon. And I want to make a quick little update here, is that for a while, I kind of thought of this channel as just being the aesthetics channel, but I realized that I have a lot more to talk about than just that. I am going to do little videos here and there, and I will do my big aesthetic videos. Probably once a year I'll do an aesthetic video, and throughout the year I'll make little like quickie videos like this, just talking about the shit that I like, talking about, you know, games that I like, and I may or may not stream. I do not have the best streaming setup at the moment, but maybe at some point down the line, maybe that's something that I can look into. If you're interested, I do have a Patreon, and in the future you will 100% get benefits by subscribing to my Patreon. So please, if that interests you, that would be great. This is just a hobby of mine, but that would be pretty cool that I can make this a job. That remains to be seen. So thank you guys so much. Expect the next video to be the Dark Souls video. Finally, it's coming. It's taking me a lot longer to make this than anticipated. It definitely won't be like the BioShock video that I made, because that video was a little overly serious, and that was kind of an experimental thing. So I'm gonna make the tone of the Sonic adventure, because it seemed like a lot of people responded to that a lot better. Anyway, thank you guys so much. Stay tuned for the Dark Souls video. Have a great one. Peace.